All right, so we're gonna do a quick raw diet tutorial. We're gonna make a meal for my cat. We're gonna make a meal for my large dog, and I'm gonna tell you how you would pare down one of these meals for, say, a smaller dog, okay? First things first, remember, raw diet has three main components. You have the raw meat, or like phosphorus, right? Your protein, muscle meat. You can have your raw bone, which is represented in like your calcium source, right? Calcium phosphorus balance, right? We want that to kind of be 1-to-1, 50-50-ish, right? Give or take. Remember, the dog's diet is cumulative, so if they get a little extra calcium on a Monday, it's okay if they get a little less on a Tuesday. Look to balance it out over the course of a week. Pay attention to your dog's diet over the course of many days. See how their, stools are looking. Is it solid? Is it crumbly? Is it runny? These are things, right? If it's runny, we might add more calcium. If we're overdosing calcium, we might also remove some. But for the most part, your dog is going to get about a 1-to-1, 50-50 balance of calcium and phosphorus, right? So your meat, your muscle meat, your raw meaty bones. And then the rest is going to be fat content, right? If you have a smaller dog, you have a skinnier dog, you want to add fat. You can add fat with fish oil. You can add fat with fat trimmings from a cow, from a pig, from whatever. The skin on your chicken, if you're feeding the dog chicken. Some people use lard, right? Like rendered beef lard as a small fat supplement. Remember, fat is good for the skin. It's good for the hormonal balance of the dog. And your dog's not going to get high cholesterol or anything like that. Fat is a good thing. It's good to add fat to the diet. Now, we're not going to fatten up the dog immediately, right? We're going to give it over time. There are other things you can add to a meal. You can add a couple blueberries or some rolled oats, maybe some cut leaf spinach. Very small amounts. I'm talking for my large dog, I would do like a quarter to a 50-cent piece amount. Just enough to represent digested vegetation, digested fiber, right, in the prey animal's stomach is kind of what you're thinking. Now, with all that out of the way, how do we create a simple meal? For my cat, I'm going to be using these chicken thighs. And I'm actually going to give him 2 pieces of it, right? Now, the chicken thigh has no bone, right? It's got no bone. It's just the muscle meat, the skin, which is our fat source, right? Like this piece has a lot of skin, so a lot of fat on there. That's good. And then what we're going to do is we're going to lay that out on a plate, and we're going to supplement the raw meaty bones that normally would be present in a chicken thigh. I debone those because I use those raw meaty bones for my dog food, and my cat doesn't chew through raw meaty bones. Now, your small dog could if they have adult teeth, but the cat's not going to do good with it. So we're going to take calcium. This is calcium citrate. It's just pure calcium powder. There's no added anything, so keep your eyes out for that. You can get calcium powder from like a Walgreens or a CVS, but make certain, just be absolutely positive it has no D3 added. Do not get calcium with any added vitamins, and especially no added D3. Okay, calcium citrate, pure. Take a little tiny spoonful, and I'm just dusting up. He's ready. I'm just dusting up the piece of the chicken because we need a bone supplement, right? We need something to supplement the raw meaty bones. So if you see there, boom, we got the meat, we got the skin for the fat, so we've got phosphorus, right? We've got calcium, and now we're gonna add a fat source to go along with the skin. Just one of these, okay? This is a fish oil capsule. Real simple. That's just gonna go right on top, boom. Cat food is ready to rock. We'll give that to the cat so he'll stop whining. Now, what do we do for the larger dog? Check this out. Before we move on, actually, so you can use a chicken thigh deboned. You can use ground beef, but a smaller dog and a larger dog, they can bite through raw meaty bone. So we're gonna use bone-in chicken leg quarters for the dog. Give me 1 second. So this is a chicken leg quarter, okay? This one's frozen solid. I like to freeze them because it cleans my dog's teeth. He's 8 going on 9. His teeth look like puppy teeth. You'll notice there's a spine, this piece of spine cut, right, where the chicken's leg is. You got the drum and you got the thigh. Get the whole leg quarter. And for a smaller dog, what I would suggest is, rather than trying to take thighs and bones or calcium and find the right balance, what I would recommend, and what's easiest, is buy a bunch of these, okay? And if you've got a smaller dog, just cut it in half. One day they'll get the spine piece, one day they'll get the piece with the leg, or you can cut it in half this way if you want to make it more balanced, right? Bone to meat. But remember, we're looking for cumulative diet. So it's not the end of the world to feed this to your dog. And if you have a really small dog, maybe you cut it in thirds, right? Because over 3 days, they're getting the right balance. So just remember, you can feed something like this. You can feed a ground turkey, ground chicken, ground beef, ground pork. But if you're going to do something that doesn't have bone in, I would suggest getting some of this calcium citrate. You can buy this off Amazon for $14. It lasts me forever. Now, hear me now. Bone in. Just get chicken. If you're going to do bone in, get this cut, the chicken leg quarter. Okay? You can also get like chicken backs if your butcher has them, or chicken necks if you want that kind of stuff. But remember, the one size fits all raw diet, in my opinion, is the chicken leg quarter. If your dog's large, you give them the piece together and maybe supplement other things. If your dog is smaller, you can cut this into sections and feed it throughout the week so that your dog can eat this in, say, 2 days or 3 days, depending on the size. Okay? You can still add things like fish oil for coat, skin issues. You can still add calcium if you're using something that has no bone in, right? Like a ground beef. It's real simple though. Half bone, half meat. The cherry on top is the meat. Or I mean the cherry on top is the fat supplement, okay? Give me 1 second, this is freezing my hand. I gotta give it to my dog. Dog, here. Take that, good boy. So, that's the simple basis of a raw diet for your dog. Remember, it's a fat supplement, kind of like the cherry on top, okay? Your dog's not gonna get high cholesterol or heart disease from having fatty foods. It's not a problem. Obviously, steer clear of giving them things like bacon grease and shit like that. Excuse my language, stuff like that. But remember, they need an equal portion of raw meat and raw meaty bones. That does not include pork bones. That does not include beef bones. Those bones are solid and dense like a rock. You don't want to feed those to your dog. They'll hurt their teeth. Poultry bones are hollow when they're raw. They are perfect for your dog to eat, okay? So if you have a larger dog, chicken leg quarter, feed him a leg quarter a day and just start seeing how it works. If you got a smaller dog, cut that up into pieces or use something that has no bone, right? Like a ground beef or a chicken thigh, and then supplement the bone with calcium citrate and add a fat a fat source. Other than that, you can add small amounts of fiber, right? Small amounts of carbs, blueberries, cut leaf, frozen spinach or canned spinach. These are things you can add to help with the digestion of the food for your dog. Okay, that's a quick crash course on raw diet. Good luck. Let me know.